Hi folks, we're going to be working on placing images and placed images. So what I want to do is have you all go ahead and be sure that you're in InDesign and you want to do File, New, Document, uncheck Facing Pages, change the number of pages to 3, and then I always like to go with a 0.25 or a 1/4 inch margin. And always make sure that you have preview selected. It does show you a preview of what your document will look like prior to opening it. Say OK. Okay, I'm going to keep this links panels out, and I like to have my pages panel out as well. The one thing that we want to do is do File Place. That is a Command D on the quick command keyboard shortcuts. It's Control D on a PC. So go ahead and do a File Place. It's under File Place on the menu as well. And then I'm going to choose this bowl close-up, which is a big bowl of M&Ms. You can make sure that your Show Import Options is unchecked, Replace Selected Item is unchecked, and Create Static Captions is unchecked. And then you can say Open. Before I click anywhere, I want to let you know that the image does show up as loaded within your cursor. So we have not yet placed this image, but we can see what it looks like, which is nice. And if we don't click anything but hover over to the right to the Pages panel, we can then choose page 3, double click there on the page 3, and then we can click right in our Pages panel. I'm sorry, in our actual page 3 to place that image. Now we have the bowl of M&Ms placed on page 3. Okay, one of the things you might know or notice as you place the image in is maybe you grab this image from somewhere that you shot and you know that it's high resolution image. Some of you may not know what resolution is whatsoever, but resolution is an important part of images placed in a file for print and for web or digital purposes. Digital, you only need 72 dpi for digital purposes, for screen purposes, but for print you need 300 dots per inch, or DPI. So I grabbed this image knowing that it would be high resolution, and I placed it in. I always want to have something that's high resolution because that means it's going to print well. Actually, you just want to make sure that you've got a high resolution image. And I know that I do, but a lot of students, when they place images in, they wonder, well, why does it look pixelated? That's actually InDesign just drawing the image that way. And you can see exactly how the image looks by going up to View, Display Performance, High Quality Display. And you can see the image shifted, and now you can't see that pixelate. Now I'm in high quality display, which means that the computer the RAM memory that's being used on your computer at this point in time is going to be increased. Therefore, your system might start to run slower if you don't have adequate memory. So this is why InDesign places your display performance at typical display. Therefore, rendering your images a little bit lower quality, just so you know. And you can always find that out by going up to View, Display Performance, and looking and then changing it back if you like. So that is one very important part of placing images in and knowing what quality and size that they are. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click the selection tool, which mine already is. Click on the image, and then observe that the selection handles appear around the image. You see 1, 2, 3. If I back out, 4. All right. The image is in the graphics frame. So if we choose Object, Select Content, Object, Select Content, right here. Command selects the image inside the graphics frame. So now we have, what's inside the graphics frame selected. We're going to press the delete key. So as you can see, I deleted the image within that frame. And generally, we'll want to create a graphics frame before placing an image. That's what people do prior to in agencies and in advertising and at marketing firms and corporate environments where you work with images and they place in graphics. They sometimes know what the image or what the document looks like prior to placing in a graphic. So they might have just a bunch of frames placed where you are then to place in the image into the frame. So generally that's how you work in a industry related environment. But if you have full control over the design, then you may not add in any of these graphics frames for placeholders at all. You might just place in the image and then manipulate that image as needed. Okay, so basically we're going to give it a try just working with a graphics frame so you understand how that works as well. So go ahead and select the rectangle frame tool. And we're going to drag it across the page to create a graphics frame. So there we go. And next, the frame is selected when you finish drawing it. So it's already selected after you draw it. And we're going to do a file place or a Command D. And then we're going to choose the file. I'm going to choose that same bowl of M&Ms. And then make sure the Show Import Options is deselected. I'm going to say Open. In the Windows, you might see Preview option. You want to make sure that you have the Replace Selected Item option. Let's see. When you select the Replace Selected Item option, InDesign replaces whatever content is in the currently selected frame. So you would want that Replace Selected Item there if you wanted to replace it. Go ahead and hit Open, and there we go. We've got our image within the frame now. And as you previously saw, we placed in an image and it gave it its own frame and content, the content being this. Now, if we create our own graphics rectangular frame, what ends up happening is that image comes in as it was shot, and so you can resize the frame around it, or just place the image in as it is, and it will come with its own frame. So the image is larger than the frame, but only a portion of the image appears. So what we're going to do is we're going to select Object, Fitting. And like I said, you can either do it manually by moving in the handles here to fit this, or we're going to go to Object, Fitting, and then, you can do whatever you want, like fit frame proportionately, fit content proportionally, fit frame to content. So we'll do that. There we go. There you have it. So now we're also going to add a movie or a sound file, and I will show you how to do that in one moment. Okay, so now we're going to place a video into our file, and we're going to do the same thing that we did for the image. We're going to do a file place or a Command D or Control D on the PC. I created a very short and kind of silly video here on my desktop, and I'm going to choose that. So as you can tell, when you choose a movie file, you can tell that mine has a MOV at the end, file extension, and you can see that it's got this little play indication that I'm able to play it if I want. And of course, you might see that little movie icon at the upper left-hand corner on the PC. So that's just something to remain aware of, are those little icons that indicate that you know it's a movie. The next thing you want to do is say open, and then you can see that little movie icon. Again, knowing that it's there, then just hit click. And there's the movie. It's a little large. I'm gonna go ahead and shrink it down. Align it to the right. And then the next thing we have here is choose Window Interactive Media to open the media panel to preview a media file. So Window Interactive Media. So you can click on this specific movie, and then you can edit things within the media panel that could help you. Like you can loop it, you can play on page load, or not. You know, you can add actions to navigation. It just depends on what you're looking for. You can set options for exporting an interactive PDF with this video. If you wanted to export to PDF and you wanted people within, when they open the PDF, to be able to open it and then view the video. So there's lots of really great things that you can do this way. So what we will do is, I think I will try to do the PDF export, play video in the floating window. We'll just say okay. And then of course I don't really know if I want to play it on page load. I'd rather click to play it. Yeah, so there we go. And we're going to do a file export. And I'm just going to name it U3_test. And then it kind of shows me different options here. We want to specify where that file is going in the name, and I did that. And then specify we want to choose Adobe PDF, and I did that. And then we want to export to interactive PDF. That's something that we would like to do as well. So if you haven't already done that, we export. You don't want to just let it default to PDF, which I had done before, but you want it to say interactive next to it. Okay, and then U3 test. Go ahead and say okay, and save. Say okay. Okay, so remember I placed those items on page 3. So the best part is now we've got you know, you can navigate from 1 to 3, and then here we have the video, which upon click will actually play the video.
Testing, movie 1, 2, 3.
So that is Han working with placed images and video images as well, embedding video into your InDesign file to then export into PDF. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.